Well, I think we're recording. Wow, so nice. This is the first time I'm recording, and you see how my face is smaller in the frame, like more natural, whereas before it was like this, you know. And the thing is, before I recorded with 6D Mark II and 24-105 lens, so basically it was 24mm, and it was like this. Now I'm recording with new Rebel SL3 and 10-18mm lens, and 10 is 16, becomes the actual, because of the crop factor, so it's 16mm, right? So 16 is much better than 24 for a selfie. And you see, it's I can see on the screen here, on the flip screen, it's tracking my face. I love this, and so much lighter. But anyway, what happened is that I bobtailed from, after dropping that load 1 on its own chassis, I bobtailed across the border, and this is a Marathon truck stop in Smith Creek, Michigan, and the border I-94 is over there, and the Canada is about, I don't know, 3 miles. Fuel today is, I think it's 284, but I got enough fuel, so we're not gonna fuel. But I'm gonna show you what I picked up. So basically, the other guy that brought this thing from Tennessee, as it often happens with American drivers, they cannot go into Canada. So this gentleman, like I mentioned before, he does not have a passport, and so they arranged with the local towing company to store this over there, and he drove back to pick up another one. So now he's on the way here with load number 3, and so while he's doing that, my job is to deliver this. So I have the permit, I have because, you know, even though it's 3 miles, you still need the permit, because they ask you at the bridge they ask you for the permit, you know. And what this is exactly the same thing I had before, except before I think it had its own chassis or something, but look, the machine is the same. I think on load 1 it was reversed, like this was in the back, but basically it's the operator cab, right? And then you have this and these 2 big tires. Oh yeah, on my previous one there was we had a neck and we had the chassis in the back, remember? Like the chassis that was connected. This one is an actual trailer, so this trailer belongs to the American guy, and it's 55. It's a Fontaine magnitude, so 55 ton. See, kind of like what I had before, and it's set up for the flip box, but it doesn't have a flip box. And this one has a dual. This one has a dual hookup. You can use a PTO or you can use this Honda, but to use the PTO you need to disconnect these. They go to the Honda, and I didn't want to do it, and basically I show up at the towing yard to pick up this, and I see this. You see that? There's no key. So I called the guy, I said, did you leave the key in the Honda? Oh yeah, I did. I said, well, I looked everywhere, I don't see it. And he said, well, you can start it with a screwdriver. And so I tried all my small keys, and then finally this key worked from my Kenworth. So I was able to start it, raise it, you know, hook up, and so that's what it is. So the same ugly machine as I had before. You see, that's where the heat comes out, I think, or body parts of whoever gets under the machine. And it sits like this because, don't worry about that one, it's because there's no air in the suspension. So once the air is in the bags, this thing raises, and we have like, I don't know, maybe 10 feet of space. And so that's my next load. So of course this one does not pay as much as the previous one, because that one I took, you know, all the way from Tennessee, and I bobtailed almost 900 miles to Tennessee, right? But it still pays good. And so that was one issue with the hookup. And then they told me my paperwork, when they sent me the paperwork, all the paperwork says paver, self-propelled paver. You know, and I look at this machine and it doesn't look like, it looks exactly what I had before, and I know that that one was a preheater. But you know, I'm just a driver, right? They sent me the paperwork, so I did all my customs. By the way, there's a Meyer on the other side, very nice, you know, food. You have Starbucks over there. Except this road over here is super dangerous to cross, because the speed limit over there is 55, and people, when they start from this intersection, they just go nuts, you know. Well, not that guy, but all these smaller cars, they're just flying by. And so yeah, so I did all my paperwork for paver, and then I sent them my parts. I sent it to the broker. I said, please forward this to your customs broker and just make sure they use the same, you know, we're on the same page. And the broker says, no, since you don't have an actual paver on your trailer, you have to redo the manifest. I said, shoot, that's another like 2 hours of my life, you know. So, but I called my border company where I do the manifest, and they told me how to do it quickly, so I just had to change the shipment, because the truck is the same, the trailer is the same. The only thing that changed is the shipment, and I needed to use a new sticker, right? And people are staring at me, you know, like with this camera. That's, of course, and that's why you want to have a small camera, you know. Like I'm walking around, like even though this Canon is a small camera, but I have a microphone on the top. And there's two guys sitting there and they're staring at me, and this guy over here, like, what is this, Hollywood, you know? But you know, they don't stare at you as bad. You know, one thing I hate, I forgot to mention this, I think I mentioned this on Facebook, but in the States you will never see a person walking on the side of the road unless it's a bump, you know. That's why there's so many overweight people, I'm sorry to say, because nobody walks, you know. Like in Canada, well, or actually in the States as well, if it's a big city, right, where there's sidewalks. But like even small town like this, you'll start walking, everybody's gawking at you, you know, like staring. And when I was at that Love's in Kentucky, sitting there for 3 days, you know, what do? I cannot sit at the truck stop like whole, you know, 12 hours, right? Or in my truck it was too hot, so I would go for a walk. And you know, I don't want to drive my truck, like separate the truck from the trailer, right? And everybody's like this, you know, like, who is this guy? You know, he's walking with a backpack, you know. And just, it's so, every car or pickup truck that passes you, especially when I had a camera in my hand because I was taking some photos, people are like, you know, like no manners at all, no manners. And I was just thinking about this when I was in Canada, like in Cambridge, it's a small town, but it's, you know, there's sidewalks, right? There's people are walking, there's kids, there's students. Nobody's gawking at you, you know, like, but here, it's just unbelievable. It's like, I feel like throwing something at it because every car like this, you know, like, a couple of times, especially when I was dressed, you know, like in some real casual attire, so to speak, like, you know, some $5 Walmart pants. I remember crossing, I was trying to get under the overpass to get to the other side of the interstate where there was a coffee shop, And the guy's turning in a pickup truck, and they look at me, and I have this huge backpack, right, with my computer and my camera, and I'm in flip-flops, and I'm wearing this, you know, just jump, you know, pants, whatever they call, like a basic cotton pants. And they open the window and they boom, you know, like that's the attitude. The attitude in the States, if somebody is walking on the side of the road, that means they don't have a car, and it's a bum, you know. Hate that. So anyway, so what's happening now is I gotta wait for email from Border Connect to tell me I'm good to go, and that would happen when the customs broker does their entry, right? Because I did my entry, and then our both entries are gonna hook up on Canada Customs website, because we're using the same reference number, which is a PARS number, right? So shipment number, and they're using the same shipment number, so the broker submits their part, like I mentioned this before, but it can be pretty complicated. But you know, for me, I'm so used to this. I do on my own, you know, electronic manifest, like, you know, ACI going in Canada or ACE going into US, and then just wait for the customs broker to do their part. And so yeah, we had one mistake, we corrected that one, and you see, you know that you're in Michigan. Look at that, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and the guy has 8 axles, and there's like, I don't know, 2 inches between tires, but that's what they wanted to. Look at that guy. Look. See that? That red truck. So 3-axle truck, 1 2 3 4 5 6 axles. And now it's summer, right? All right, check out that guy over there. So we have a Peterbilt, I don't know, 40 axles on the trailer. So old Peterbilt. So 3-axle truck, he has 2 axles raised, and then 1 2 3 4, and then 2 in the rear raised. and like, this is real busy area, you know? And towing company was that way on the Rage Road, and I like these Freightliner classics, you know. Still driving. See, that one is probably like 15 years old. Still works. So that's what's happening. So just waiting for the customs paperwork to tell me I'm good to go. I have cash to pay for the toll, but actually now they started taking credit cards on the bridge. Before, you always had to get cash somewhere. And I got my permit. My passport is out. I checked the load this morning, make sure all my flags are okay, the signs are clean. Actually, I installed my own sign in the back because his oversized load in the back was like real all scratched and dirty, and you can get a ticket for that. So I installed my own sign in the very back. And there was a tire, and it was loose, like not secured at all, like that big tire in the front on the trailer. I don't think you're supposed to have that, but it can be considered as part of the shipment. And so I just grabbed my strap and I tied it down. Like the previous guy just had it sit there. So he drove 800 miles with the tire, and actually the wheel with the tire, probably 200 pounds, sitting on the trailer. I don't know. Like, I have no comments about that, but I cannot drive like that. That's not how a SERGEI DRATCHEV heavy haul operates. So I put a strap in there, so now we're all good, we're all secure. No innocent Canadian freight brokers need to die today. Well, that's it. And so the plan is I have to return this trailer because that American guy is coming. We're gonna meet up again here for my next load. And so I'm gonna go to Ajax, I'm gonna disconnect the neck, and that machine actually can drive right? So he's gonna put the wheels down and I'm gonna drive off, then I'm gonna reconnect and just drive back here to Port Huron. It's 200 miles, and once the trailer is delivered, that's kind of like the end of my load number 2, and I'll be paid like the previous one. They paid by wire, so this should be by wire as well. And that's it. Yeah, and then I take his trailer that he's now taking here, like the other one, and going back to Ajax. And I think that's my last one. I think maybe there's one more coming. But all in all, I know this guy has 5 machines that are moving from Tennessee to Ontario. And see, so it's cool, right? So I found one load on the load board, and the rate was pretty low. And so using my outstanding sales skills and my, you know, natural talking abilities, I managed to double the rate. Yeah, double. I managed to double the rate because it was too low. And then they liked what I did with the first load, so they asked me to help them out with these other loads, you know. So basically, you don't want to make the broker too angry, right? You got to be reasonable, because, you know, if they like you, they'll give you more loads, you know. So never burn the bridges, you know. Even when I talk to brokers, and let's say I email the guy, say, hey, I can do it, but I would need a bit more money because it's a lot of miles, a lot of weight. Let's say, here's my rate. And the guy says, no, I don't have that much in. And I say, well, if your customer changes their mind, let me know, I'm here, you know. And the guy says, thanks, you know. And so you never know. Actually, a couple of times they call me back and they say, yeah, we can pay more now because we couldn't find a truck, you know. And so basically, you don't want to sound, you know, arrogant or something. You just state the facts, ma'am, and that's it, you know. No emotions. If you change your mind, you have my truck. All right. And the guy says, thank you, you know. So because it's all negotiation, you know, we're all trying to make some money here. So that's it. And this was the first video with Canon Rebel SL3. On the monitor, my face looks good.